Yeah. Hello there, this is Jay from Island Locks, the locksmith training company. Just going to do a quick intro before I do my next tape, because I'm going to run over some DIY overlifting pick wires again. Just to bring on from a point that was raised on from one of our members, Phil, brought up a fair point, and that's what it's about. Hopefully you find all our tapes useful. Obviously they're there not from a point of view that you can sort of teach yourself to be a locksmith. It's more there just to hopefully so you gain a bit of interest into what we do, etc. But that's what it's about. Hopefully also to raise a few questions, and hopefully I can answer them along the way. Okay, but I'm going to take you straight on to part 2 of our overlifting pick wires. Okay, I'm going to do this all in one hit. Okay, bear with me. Excuse my camera work. Okay, I'm just going to pan down a second. Down to the lock at hand. Okay, now this lock here, this is the one that you may have seen in part 1 of the DIY overlifters. And the point, and it's a fair point, that Phil raised was the fact that obviously this lock that I showed you on, as well as the one that was closed that we couldn't see into, the lever pack was all much the same, so i.e. all the fences, etc., all sat in virtually the same position. Okay, but I did explain obviously these are quite cheap contractors locks, but what I want to do is obviously just show you that it also works on locks where we can have differences in how the fences sit within the lock. So the lock I'm going to show you on is going to be just an older type of Yale 5 lever lock, but just to remind you of what was going on inside here with our overlifters, just to pan round again. Okay, the idea was that I was using DIY or homemade overlifting pick wire, just there, and the idea was that we could apply tension onto the bolt there, and then I could go in with my overlifting pick, lifting the whole pack at the time. You can see how quickly these locks actually go. Okay, so that was a fair point raised by Phil about the fact that the fences, etc., are much the same on this lock. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you on a 5 lever Yale. I'll just show you this lock here. You can see that's a Yale, hopefully you can see that, 5 lever security. Okay, but the technique, etc., is all going to be much the same. Just get this in the vise, hopefully. And, oh, sorry, excuse me. Doesn't seem to want to climb. There we go. Nicely fixed in there. So first off, what I'm going to do, just take off the plate here, or the cover plate, just so you can see exactly what's in there. Excuse my hands getting in the way, but I'll get into a better position in a second. Hopefully nothing's going to spring out on me. Okay, so let's just get a close-up of this one. Okay, so hopefully you can see in here we have now, without losing my focus, we have now got some differences there. Okay, so now hopefully you can see we have got some differences. We've got some higher fences, some lower fences. We've got very low lever just here at the back. Okay, and that's about as not as extreme as you'll get, but obviously you can see now hopefully there's some quite big differences in there. I'll just try and get a bit of a better picture for you. Okay, there you go. So hopefully now you can see that. You can see just here that we've got an extremely low one just there. You can see that hopefully lifting. Okay, so this is to show you that the same technique will work on these locks as well. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that plate back on. Obviously do this all in one hit, so you don't think that anything has been swapped or changed. Pop the screws back in. Excuse my hands again. Okay, so I'm going to show you this all in one hit, like I say. So I'm going to pan round to give you a bit of a better view. What's going on here? Okay, so again I'm just going to use my basic little DIY Overlift wire pick. Okay, that one there. And all I'll be doing is using just a standard tension tool. Okay, so my tension tool is going to go into the lock, feed that in. Okay, that brings me onto the bolt. And what I'm going to basically be doing, just like in part one, inserting my overlifting pick and scooping the back of the pack, lifting, letting it drop, lifting, letting it drop, all the time giving this tension tool little tweaks, hoping to catch the lever pack, etc. as it drops, so the stump can pass through the gate, through the gating. So my little pick goes in, use my thumb as a little rest, and I start to lift. So okay, so I can feel them lifting. And all I'm doing is lifting it up, down, hoping to catch the pack. Okay, just get a better grip on this, so I haven't got too great a grip. Hopefully you can hear that resetting, etc. But all I'm doing all the time is just lifting it, letting it drop, lifting it, letting it drop, and giving this tension tool, hopefully you can see that, little tweaks on and off as I do that. Just there. And I can completely retract the bolt then. Okay, so you can see that it does work on locks which have a few different levers, etc. They don't all have to sit in the same way, so I apologise for part one. That was my mistake, wasn't probably the best lock to show you that on.